the next edition of the Microsoft Capital Circle Dialogues in association with VC Circle. I'm Jaideep Mehta, and it's my pleasure to bring you this wonderful new episode with two amazing co-panelists on my guest list today. And I'll take this occasion to quickly introduce first Dr. Jyoti Joshi, founder and CEO of Croup AI. Very quickly, Jyoti, I'll do a quick introduction for the benefit of my viewers. We know that you did a lot of your studies in Australia, and you started loving the universities there so much. You went for a degree, then you did a postgraduate degree, then you did a doctorate, and now you're also doing postdoctoral studies in the most fascinating field of computer vision, and I guess in the broader context, artificial intelligence. And we will talk to you about that journey as we will also talk about Croup AI. Also on the panel today, Ninad Karpe from 100x VC. He's one of the partners there. Very well-known face in the Indian IT ecosystem, dare I say. And before joining 100x VC, he was CEO at AppTech, where he was associated with them for several years. And before that, interestingly, BNP, after that, AppTech, and now 100x VC. Three distinct chapters to your journey, Ninad, but I'm sure this is going to be the most exciting half an hour of them all. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to make it as exciting as possible. Thank you, Jaideep. Thank you for it.
Wonderful, so wonderful. Right. Jyoti, let me start with you. You're kind of building a company which is as deep tech as it gets, right? In the Indian context today, and I guess in the global context today, artificial intelligence is not just gaining traction in our everyday conversation, but it's actually becoming more and more real, and we're all experiencing it as consumers, as businesses, and so on. So tell us a little bit about what made you choose this from a study perspective, and what triggered Croup AI. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Jaideep, first to have me here and for the kind introduction. So basically, as you said, Croup AI is a deep tech startup, and what we basically do is look into synthetic data in its entirety. And there are two main facets here. So I'll just talk about Croup AI first and then generic stuff, which kind of what brought me here. So the two main facets of synthetic data is, one is the ethical synthetic data generation, where we can repurpose or recreate older videos or content, or entirely generate newer videos from scratch just with text as input. And there are a multitude of use cases in different verticals, such as ad tech, edutech, and media entertainment, and so forth. And the second one is where the same tech can be used to create what we commonly call as deep fakes, where someone has been made to say or do something which they may not have done in real. And this can be done to malign someone's images or to commit certain sort of frauds and so forth. So Croup AI has products that solves both these problems. So we have a platform which enables you to generate synthetic data for the different use cases. And then we have this multi-model explainable deepfake detector that will allow people to validate the authenticity of the content. Because lately, how as end consumers, what we are consuming is affecting our perception. So if we need to know what we are watching or viewing is real or fake, we need to have certain tools in place. And that's where we come in.
Being in the newspaper business ourselves, we know all about fake news and the dangers it poses and so on. So, while you talk about the broader context of deepfakes and deepfake videos, and we've seen some very controversial and in some cases downright dangerous examples of that. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about, how Croup can actually help someone like a, newspaper like VC Circle or any of our sister publications to actually detect fake news on the internet.
So currently the focus is actually on the manipulation that is done video or images where face is there. So if someone's identity has been taken, that is where our software can actually be used.
Right.
And the demo can be seen on our website. In fact, we have made it a public URL as well with someone who wants to check for a particular video. For example, you saw something in circulation and you want to see whether that's legitimate or not, then you can actually upload that media there and check for it. And then our tool can tell you the probability of it being fake or real. And if you want to go deeper in there, then we can also tell you what exactly, in what, say, if it's a 1 minute long duration video, then where exactly the manipulation could have occurred and what are the regions in the face. Where
Wow. That's amazing stuff.
Multi-model system, yeah.
Almost sounds like science fiction in some ways. But let me just take the conversation to Ninad very quickly here. So it's fair to say, Group AI is not your everyday startup that 100x VC might be looking to invest in. So 2 questions for you. First and foremost, I know, but for the benefit of our viewers, tell us a little bit about the 100x VC model, because I know it's a very, very different approach to early stage investing. That's first. And second, when you look at companies such as Group, of course, you have wonderful founders and so on. And equally, these kinds of businesses also need a phenomenal amount of computing capability, cloud services, and so on. So let's touch upon a little bit through your lens as an investor, the role that hyperscalers may be playing to help the startup ecosystem kind of flourish here. Over to you.
Sure. Thanks, Jaideep. The second one question you're asking me to give my secret sauce and how we look at these guys. But I will. Since you've asked your old friend, I will not resist that question. So 100x pioneered a couple of things in India. We pioneered what we call iSafe. It's called India's Simple Agreement for Future Equity. It's a simple document, 4-page agreement, no complexities of shareholders agreement. And is extremely founder friendly. So it cuts down months of discussion, valuation, all of that stuff. So that is number one. Number two is we get lots and lots of pitch decks. We've, as a firm till today, we've got close to 15,000 pitch decks and we've selected only 70. We selected concept stage, early revenues, pre-revenues, and there are times when out of the 70, we have had discussion with the founder in the morning, and in the evening you have signed up the iSafe note. It's not possible unless you have the framework we have. So that is how we do it. We select these guys, we mentor them, and we take them to a pitch day where they go for next round of funding. Sounds simple, a lot of hard work. Coming to hyperscaling and Group AI, and one of the companies we have a lot of hopes, aspiration that it will do exceedingly well. And how we select it. So we look for companies that are solving problems. A lot of companies we get solve problems of yesterday. Some solve problems of today, and a few like Group AI are solving problems of tomorrow. That's how we've selected Group AI. And I think the time has come now. Hyperscale companies will only be of 2 types. One is which do not scale at all, which is an average rate of growth, lifestyle business. And the second will be hyperscale. There'll be nothing in between. There won't be companies in between because they will just get squeezed out. Either you hyperscale or you die. And in a hyperscaling company, technology companies like your Microsoft and others have to play a huge role. Without technology, scale is not possible. Without the support they get, scale is not possible. Maybe I'm more exaggerating, every kid in India, if not every alternate kid, is dreaming of becoming a startup founder. It is not possible unless we get backups from large companies.
I think the story of the Indian startup ecosystem itself is the story of hyperscaling. In 2021, it became daily excitement for our editorial colleagues to hunt out which was going to be the next unicorn. And, they took great pride in breaking so many of those stories about which company was going to attain that exalted status first. But aside from the value creation there, I think the kind of change they brought to our lives, whether it be from a lens of convenience or just new technologies and so on, is just phenomenal. Jyoti, let me come back to you. The role that hyperscalers such as Microsoft and their peer group are playing in helping you build your company. I can only imagine that, in a theoretical world where these guys didn't exist, it would be almost impossible for you to get the kind of capital you would need to actually buy all of these resources, which today you're renting and consuming. So tell us a little bit about the role hyperscalers play through the eyes of an entrepreneur.
So absolutely, I think I'd have to agree with Nina there that either you scale at hyperscale level or you die out. And as you just mentioned, that if technology companies such as Microsoft and the platforms do not exist, it just becomes really hard to bring the ideas into a product form, quite literally. And since we have also onboarded with Microsoft for Startups program, there is a big research component that is involved here, because the kind of problem we are trying to solve is every day newer kind of challenges come because the tech is evolving. So we have to kind of keep researching to make it even better, to try to solve it for any future threats. So that our component is actually happening, all the computing nodes that we're getting from these hyperscalers. So this really becomes important, and especially for young founders where there's no capital, or you just don't have enough resources to just bring out something. That's where these hyperscalers really enable them to pursue their dream, pursue the passion, pursue the idea.
All right, wonderful. And I guess, Nina, back to you. One of the things that I know about 100x VC is that even though you're sort of a registered venture capital firm, but almost every time, you're almost the first external investor into a company, right? And when I say first external, that includes angels, and even you may sometimes even precede a so-called friends and family round. So from your lenses, moving away from the technology, but going more towards the founders, what is it that you look for in founders? What's it that makes you say yes to one entrepreneur and no to another founder?
All my secrets you're asking. You're an old friend, but I'll give it to you. Yeah.
Should I withdraw this question gracefully, sir?
So yes, the short answer is yes. We invest at 100x as the first institutional investor. If some other institution has invested, we do not invest because our model doesn't work. We call ourselves the discovery platform. We take serious amount of risk. We take risk. Jyoti will talk more about it, but we take risk where no one else would have thought that, this is time to put our money here. Who invests in concept stage is not very easy. We do. Who invest without shareholders agreement, no valuation, no board seats, no rights, all those standard rights, we do. Who goes through 15,000 pitch decks and select 70? We do. Who does the initial due diligence? We do. I can go on and on. But the point is not that what we do is important. It is important because today a person with the idea, a boy or a girl, can come and get funded. You do not need money, you do not need collaterals to be given for security or etc. to get funded. You have a great idea. Capital is chasing ideas. Capital is chasing great ideas. It's a wonderful transformation which has happened in India. It has never happened. And that's the beauty of it. We are just a catalyst. We feel more and more people like us should be there who take risk right in the beginning, very early, moonshot ideas. Not many people take the risk, not because they don't want to, but they, I think, do not have the DNA to take it. Our DNA is that DNA. We're willing to take the risk, and we do take it. So I think we are building a very, very important bridge. Of course, we are a VC fund. Of course, we want to make money, all of that stuff. But more than that, I think hopefully history will remember us as the most important bridge we have built in the ecosystem for startups to get first stage funding and discover themselves and eventually become big ideas.
Wonderful, sir. And all power to you and your colleagues. Let me tell you also, in an era where Elon Musk has open sourced all his car designs and put them on the internet, it's the DNA which matters. And I know the 100x DNA is very, very unique indeed. Folks, just coming to the last chapter of our conversation in the interest of time, I can't let either of you go without asking you about the future just a little bit. So, Jyoti, let me come back to you. For your company, for the startup ecosystem, and for the country, what do you see happening in 2022? What's the near-term future looking like through your lens?
I think, as you mentioned in the talk, that how 2021 has been very exciting. Everyone was on lookout. What's the next unicorn? What has happened in the beginning of this year is that we are now started to celebrate startups, which is like we have a National Startup Day now. Now that has really shifted the perception. So how traditionally, we used to have that if someone has a government job, yes, they have made it, they are successful. Or then if someone plays in a, nice MNC, yeah, they made it, government job and MNCs. But now after this, so okay, within our ecosystem, we know startups are doing great and they are contributing so much to the economy. It is known. But in the perception of a common man now, startup means something. And it is the benchmark of success as well. So it's just that this is going to propel more youngsters. So yes, the growth of startups is exceptional. We are seeing so many new startups founding every day in India. But what is this going to do is that more youngsters will be inspired and they will have more support from their parents and families to actually pursue their dreams. And this is what really excites me. So it's not just only about seeing the unicorns and the IPOs, but also the newer ideas. So more moonshot ideas will be coming to firms like 100x. And, probably 15K number is going to increase much more.
More moonshots, more entrepreneurs, the widening of the startup ecosystem. Exciting times ahead, according to Jyoti. Through the lens of the investor, what does it look like? Your portfolio, the opportunities you're seeing, what does 2022 hold for India?
Non-stop excitement, round the clock. Two broad trends. Today, if you go to any undergrad college, anywhere in India, not just metros, tier 2, tier 3, ask girl or a boy, how many of you want to either start a startup or join a startup? 80% will raise their hand. Again, anecdotal, I have asked at various places, 80%. So it's not just every alternate person, but so that's one big trend. Number two trend, kids are now not just solving frictions, because there are a lot of frictions to be solved, but serious problems like how Jyoti is trying to solve with her founders, serious problems of tomorrow. So taken together, we are going to see a flood of new ideas solving any problem you can think of. If there's a problem, it has to be solved. That's all. That's how the startup founders look at it. It's not a problem. It's a problem looking for a solution. People look at a problem saying, oh, that's a problem. So what is 2022 going to look like? I think we will have, today, India is the third largest startup country in the world in terms of numbers. It's a matter of time. We'll become second in next, my guess is 24 months. And after that, we will be number one. It's a matter of time. And 2022 is the starting point of that. Let me end by, you had asked me about what we look at founders, and I think I kind of glossed over it. But yes, other than the standard things of the passion for the idea, will she or he scale the business? Will they make money for us? The most important thing to look for is, will this idea, will it go right? And if it goes right, what can happen? Not what will it go wrong and how will it sink our money? So that's what we look. So yes, 2022, to my mind, will be a watershed year for early stage startups. We are intending at 100x to invest in 100 startups this year, 100 in 1 year.
Wonderful, sir. Well, folks, as you can see, I've got two very, very excited panelists. The entrepreneur who's riding a rocket ship, the investor who's applauding and supporting her all the way and looking to support 100 more like her. In 2021, about 700 million Indians went online. On average, we were consuming 8.5 gigabytes of data every month, by far the heaviest data consuming population on the planet. Digital payments boomed. The India stack came to the fore. All of us became UPI addicts. Bank systems started getting strained because we were doing so many transactions. all of us, as a second nature, now order food home, do online banking, buy most of our stuff on the internet, and I can keep going on and on. So it's no surprise to me that now the next and more sophisticated wave of tech startups is being born in this country to solve, as Ninad says, and I'm going to copy that term, tomorrow's problems. And phenomenal entrepreneurs like Dr. Jyoti Joshi are really striving forward in this brave new world. And I wish her and her investor, 100x VC, and the partner Ninad Karpe, all power in their journey. Thank you very much for watching this really, really interesting conversation. I really enjoyed moderating it. I appreciate all of you spending time with us, and I deeply appreciate my two panelists for taking out time from their busy schedules and sharing their thoughts and some of their trade secrets with us as well. Ninad, Jyoti, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting us.